Hi there. My name is Emeka Nnadi, for those of you who don't know me already, and I'm the founder and the principal of the Nadi Group. We specialize in urban design, architecture, and landscape architectural solutions for a better world. That's our tagline, Design for a Better World. In today's video, we're going to talk specifically about mixed-use developments, what they are, what they aren't, and why it matters to you and me. What is a mixed-use development? Essentially, a mixed-use development is a project or development that is more than one building or more than one site, that is a community or an environment, and that development has more than one function. So a two-function development is, by definition, a mixed-use development. Could be a combination of single-family and multifamily residential homes. That's a mixed-use development. But the real magic of mixed-use developments happens as you increase the number of uses for that single environment. So a mixed-use environment could have retail, commercial, shops, stores, grocery stores, offices, assorted workplace opportunities and workplace environments, layered with walkable environments, recreational spaces, biking, jogging, sports fields, schools, places of education, places of entertainment, and so on and so forth. The more the layers of uses you add to a mixed-use environment, obviously the more mixed use it is, but also, and more importantly, and why we're talking about it, the more resilient, robust, and sustainable the environment is. So a mixed-use environment can be many things at many different layers along the spectrum, but essentially it's not a single-use environment. For example, a single-home suburb is arguably one of the worst forms of single-use developments that are available, as an example. Mixed-use environments offer a number of different benefits that I want to talk about. Let's highlight some of the key advantages of mixed-use developments. First of all, we know that in today's climate change impacted world, good stewardship of the environment is critical, and mixed-use environments do this infinitely better than single-use environments. So a mixed-use environment sips and consumes a lot less energy per square foot per capita than single-use environments. A mixed-use environment optimizes carbon emissions and other forms of greenhouse gases much better than a single-use environment. A mixed-use environment reduces energy waste from things like commuting from home to work or to school, etc., to other forms of energy waste. You leave your house, you leave the furnace on, but there's no one home. That's just burning energy. So mixed-use environments are infinitely better for the environment. They reduce our waste and reduce energy use and reduce carbon footprints. Another key advantage of mixed-use environments are the economic and social benefits. Think about the social benefits of living in an environment that supports or harbors multi-generational living, single-family living, multi-family living, aging in place living, and assisted living facilities, all in one walkable community. The opportunities are endless. Think about the social good to living in an environment where children can walk to school from home and walk back home. You don't have to burn fuel, or even if you're driving an EV, you don't have to use electrical energy to transport children to school and back. Or think about environments where you get to walk to work and walk home because it's walkable and there's enough mixes of uses to accommodate that. Think about the social benefits to being in an environment where you want to get some fresh air, you want to go for a jog, a run, or just even a walk, you want to get some exercise. Well, the environment you live in has safe opportunities for you to get that fresh air and get that exercise right there within your community. And think about the economics of that. You save on so many things. You save on the cost of transportation, the cost of energy, and other different costs that gradually rack up. Potentially in phenomenal mixed-use environments, you don't even need a vehicle. Whether it's an electric vehicle, carbon, internal combustion motor vehicle, you don't need any because you can walk to everywhere that's critical in your daily cycle. All of those things add to the bottom line economically and socially. And then think about the design quality, the aesthetic of mixed-use environments. Typically, a mixed-use environment, by definition, is just so much more vibrant and engaging. Extra care is taken to articulate walking paths or sidewalks or shared transportation hubs where the car is welcome, but the car doesn't dominate. You can have a mix of shared spaces. Think about the energy that you feel when you walk by a well-done plaza or patio space and it's tied to a restaurant or a retail chain or some other forms of light commerce. Or think about the care that's taken when you insert an urban park or green space into other urban mixes and how vibrant and energetic those spaces can become. The aesthetic appeal and what really resonates with many of us human beings is well-designed mixed-use environments. And think about the community engagement that happens. I touched on it a little bit earlier, but when I talked about the social benefits, but community engagement is key. When you have a mixed-use environment, these are environments that are on and activated 24 hours a day. There's never a moment when the infrastructure is there, the built environment is there, but no one's home, which typically happens in single-use environments. Think about the social good. During the day, there's people there. During the evenings, there's people there. At night, there's people there. There's always vibrant social interaction going on in mixed-use environments. And one of the key advantages to mixed-use environments is their resilience, their flexibility and adaptability. Whether it's economic changes, environmental changes, or other forms of ebbs and flows, a mixed-use environment is so much more resilient and can adapt to certain environmental or economic changes so much better than a single-use environment. Sounds pretty exciting. So why isn't every development a mixed-use development of some kind? One of the important reasons why this isn't the norm already is in every municipality, in every county, in most jurisdictions, there are zoning ordinances or bylaws or rules that allow a single zoning category to be assigned to a property. Historic methods of zoning and permitting specific uses to parcels of land mean that it's so much easier to get a parcel or a potential development rezoned for a single use. It becomes infinitely more difficult to rezone for multiple uses at the same time, because the zoning challenges or the design challenges or the economics of a mixed-use development are so much more complicated, and therefore municipalities and governments are a lot less keen on rezoning a property or a development with multiple uses. But that was then, and the future that we're moving into is one that really requires us all, as citizens, as human beings, as global members of this planet, we need to start moving away from single zoned or single use developments and begin to really embrace mixed use developments. So here at Nadi Group, if you're a developer or a member of a municipality, a planning officer, or any of the other folks who are involved in creating present and future environments, I do urge you to consider carefully and thoughtfully mixed use developments in the future of your projects. We're certainly here to help, and I would encourage you to reach out to my team at the Nadi Group, simply nadigroup.com, for assistance and for innovative brainstorming when it comes to mixed use developments. There is a framework that we use here at Nadi Group that takes mixed use developments to the next level, to the future level, and that's convergence. So we believe in convergent mixed use developments. Essentially, convergence is what happens when we bring to bear all, or as many as possible, of the opportunities to combine advances in technology with deep-rooted cultural or historic best practices, where we bring the results of social knowledge and great design all to bear on a single project. Convergence means that we're simultaneously looking at the environment and sustainability. We're looking at flora and fauna, and how flora and fauna is an essential part of urban mixed-use infrastructure. So the green infrastructure of trees and shrubs and flowers and plants is just as important as the human infrastructure of sewer, water, and power grids. Convergence means we explore seriously renewable energy and look carefully at how we consume energy that's generated for mixed-use developments. And we look to optimize and maximize the optimization of those technologies. Convergence means we are very aware of and concerned with food security. And what does that mean? That means that mixed-use environments, we explore how to produce some kind of food production within the mixed-use environments, whether that's a greenhouse or community gardens or other forms of vertical agriculture that can coexist in other mixed-use environments. Convergent mixed-use development might also suggest different forms of building construction, modular construction, manufactured housing construction, which reduces the impact on the site and on the developments, and even in some cases, we look at 3D printed homes and communities as convergent technologies coming to bear to create much more robust, fireproof, environmental impact proof, climate change proof, and socially enhanced mixed-use environments. So that kind of is the future of the mixed-use environment. The future of the mixed-use environment essentially is moving to a convergence where all of today's knowledge and technology comes to bear in producing environments and human habitat that operate and function at levels we are not used to, and where we challenge all the status quo assumptions and move things forward. Certainly machine learning and AI technologies and tools make some of those innovations and enhancements possible today that were not possible a decade or more ago. We're very excited about mixed-use environments. It's a fundamental key part of our work at Nadi Group, certainly, but we think that it should be equally important and top of mind to you, whether you're a citizen, a municipality or planning officer, or a real estate developer who's looking to develop meaningful and impactful environments of the future. To recap, mixed-use development essentially is one that is not a single-use development. There are multiple advantages to mixed-use developments over single-use developments, and the challenges to creating mixed-use developments essentially lie with our history and the way that zoning ordinances and bylaws have been assembled over time. There's more detail to that, but essentially the challenge is in renewing our thinking. The future of mixed-use environments takes us to a convergence where we bring all of the best technology, adaptations, and environmental and social knowledge to bear in a mixed-use development that is primed for climate change and primed for a future that is equitable between us and the environment. Nadi Group has become a subject matter expert in this field, and there are other firms that are pushing for enhanced mixed-use environments. If you're interested in any of what I've just said today, I would encourage you to reach out to our firm, and we'd love to get to know what you have in mind, your vision for your particular project, and how we can bring some of this knowledge and expertise to bring value to you. Thanks, and we'll talk again soon.